Okay, guys, now it is on YouTube. I got it right. For those of you watching it on YouTube, go on over to millions.co. If you're watching it on millions.co, you're watching it live. I believe on YouTube there's a slight delay. So if you're watching the fights with me, if you're watching the UFC tonight and you feel that my commentary is delayed, go on to millions.co. That's millions with an S, .co, and tune in and you guys can watch along with me live. Okay? So hopefully that is working all well. Check here, make sure that I'm live on YouTube. I'm looking forward for this first fight. Salikov, Sanda world champion. Excellent, excellent fighter. Yes, it is live on YouTube. Excellent. My button pushing skills always getting better day to day. I am looking very much forward to this main event, heavyweight main event. I have a feeling that we could see another Derek Lewis knockout, or if it goes a little later, he can get drowned by what's that fellow's last name? He's a good judoka. Oh, wait a second. I believe, let's see. Did they change the main event here? Spivak versus Lewis. Spivak. Very good judoka, good grappling, has a bunch of subs in UFC already. I watched his fights yesterday. Very interesting guy. Very tricky takedowns and amazing ground game. Let's just see, double check here. I'm getting a different listing. Hopefully this fight is still on. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, Spivak main event canceled because of illness. Okay. Well, I didn't hear that, so that must be today. For illness forced Lewis off the card. Okay, guys, so Lewis is no longer the main event. I believe it's Yon Kutaleba and Kennedy. They're going to be taking on, they're 205ers. They're going to be doing the main event. I imagine they got bumped to main event. Unfortunately, Lewis is out. I was really looking forward to this fight, actually. I just got back from the gym, just finished practice. I'm reading this now. I'm seeing that I'm looking at topology here, and they're no longer the main event. Lewis had to draw out because of illness. So too bad we don't get a heavyweight fight. However, there's going to be some good fights on this card nonetheless. There have been some good fights. I didn't get a chance to watch them. I just tuned in. I just got home, guys. Showered up, got cleaned up, get ready to live stream. And now coming up is Muslim Sakilov, a world champion in Sanda. Okay, Sanda is, think about it, kickboxing mixed with wrestling. That's what it is. It's basically Kung Fu. Guys, when you say Kung Fu, don't think movies. These guys are hardcore kickboxers. This guy, Salikov, is a real fighter. He's 18-3. He's a killer. He's fought two of my fighters. He's won one. He's lost one. He's a very dangerous guy. Incredible overhand right. Incredible back kick. Yeah, he's got takedowns, but he's not a grappler. He's not the type of guy who's going to try to get you with a slick submission. He's going to take you down once in a while to ground and pound. He's going to take you down once in a while to, bank in the rounds, throw some ground and pound up. But he's really, really an incredible striker. His opponent, Andre Fialho, we see him on the screen right now. Good knockout power, good explosive power. I haven't seen any of his fights before. This is the first time I see him in action. But watching his highlights here, I could tell you he's also very similar to Salikov. Guys, don't be shy to put in your comments and questions in the chat. I'll be reading them out and taking comments and questions at the same time. I think you've earned your button pushing blue belt. Keep it up. That's from Andrew M. Thank you. I'm hoping to get my purple belt one day in button pushing. I hope that one day I will get that purple belt, and maybe who knows? Maybe I have a future in button pushing. Maybe I chuck all this MMA stuff out the window and just go straight into button pushing. These button pushers, they make tons of money, guys. They make tons of money, and they don't get any of the damage. Yeah, main event canceled. Derek Lewis unfortunately got sick. There has been a bug going around. A lot of people have been getting sick. Everybody's been getting sick. The flu. Everybody's getting the flu. Just everybody in the gyms, everywhere. Everybody's been getting sick. Definitely there's a bug going around. Mo Lawal in the corner of Salikov. Mo Lawal, guys, if you guys don't know who Mo Lawal is, he's one of the top MMA wrestlers in the game. Back in the day, he was an incredible competitor in Bellator. He fought a long time for Bellator. He's fought in Japan as well. He's fought Crow Cop. He's fought many, many big names. Very well known for his wrestling credentials, very slick boxing skills. I've worked with him actually many years ago. Me and him trained together. Very good athlete. Mola Wall, the gentleman in Salikov's corner. So it should be interesting. He must be working very heavily with Salikov on his wrestling. I was supposed to be doing my watch party for Adesanya versus Alexander Pereira. That would have been a great first watch party, but unfortunately I had another fight to go to, so I wasn't able to do that one. But this is a nice card. It's not the biggest card of the year, but hopefully in the future we'll be doing bigger cards, and I hope to be able to do this on a regular basis. Scott Whitaker, yeah, the guys just finished fighting. There's going to be a new cycle of fights being booked. I can't talk about it now because things are not officially signed. And when things are signed, it's the UFC to announce them first. And there's always guys fighting, absolutely. But we're looking to be back in the announcements in the new year. From Portugal, Casques, Portugal. Hard hitter. From what I can tell, guys, this guy's a big puncher. So Salikov. A lot of the fights tonight I heard are ending in like round one. So I was listening to the commentators are saying it's the third KO in the first round, I believe. Let's look here. No, spinning back kick, first fight, spinning back kick, then unanimous split, unanimous split. No, I think there's only been one finish so far. But this fight might not last long. Two heavy hitters. 12 first round finishes. Finished 14 out of 16 wins. Yeah, he's definitely a finisher. 13 KOs. Won 6 out of the last 8 fights. Scott Whitaker, fair. I worked at corner probably a decade ago at TriStar for an amateur event. Great to see how well you've done. Scott Whitaker, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Very appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, coach. Huge fan watching from Tunisia. That's from Marwan. Marwan, how are you? From Tunisia, a place I'd love to visit one day. Definitely a place I want to visit. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this makes your fight experience better. Salikov, a pick'em, minus 120 favorite. So basically 50-50. Not a major difference between the two. Salikov, a slight favorite. It's a pick'em fight. Salikov, 38 years old. Andre Filho, 28 years old. Roughly about the same height. Weight about the same. Reach. Filho has a significant reach advantage. 4-inch reach advantage. Should be interesting here. Marwan, most likely in the new year. So we're going to be waiting for the new year to announce a new fight. Salikov, guys, a world champion in Sanda. Sanda's Kung Fu. That's why they call him the king of Kung Fu. You see him giving the traditional Kung Fu salute. Pretty cool, that salute. I have some students that still do that. When they salute me in the gym, they go, they come from a karate background. Kung Fu background. Kung Fu. Karate guys are going to tell you, us. Then when they give you the bow. GSP, when he still comes in the gym every day, he sees me, first thing he does, us. That's how you greet your trainer. The karate masters, the Kyokushin. What age is a fighter in their prime? That's from Kobe Bryant. Well, I would tell you in MMA, it's close to 30, 31. It depends what age you start. The sooner you start, the sooner you peak. So you see a lot of champions in their 30s in MMA. All right, here we're touching gloves. 2 righties circling in the center. Both men are exchanging. Now you're going to see. Let's see who can control the center here. Both men are engaging. They're both They're both power punchers. They both have a lot of KOs on their record. Let's see here who's going to control the center. Usually the gentleman who controls the center, the fighter who controls the center, is usually the one who has more power. Okay, that's not always the case, but it usually is. Now, just because you have more power doesn't mean you're going to win. Now, having more power is always good, but you also have to have more skill. You have to have more endurance. You have to have more skill, of course, more strategy. All right, we have Fialho controlling the center a little bit more. He's got a 74-inch reach. Don't forget, he's jabbing. He's doing a nice work with the jab here. Salikov doing a good job evading the kicks. That's a second or third kick he's evaded. Nothing super significant just yet. Still very early in the fight. Salikov, second low kick. You know those low kicks. The thing with low kicks is they look like nothing, but believe me, they make a massive difference in a fight. I remember one judge once said in an interview, a UFC judge, I won't say his name, but he said, I don't even count kicks. This is many years ago, and I found it so absurd. Like, that's absurd. You know, the nice spinning hook kick by Salikov. He's very well known for his spinning kicks. And he's like, I don't even count leg kicks. And it's like, if you come from a boxing background or something like that, or you've never done Muay Thai, you've never been kicked by a Thai fighter, you don't know how damaging a low kick is. A low kick can be much worse than a punch to the head, much, much worse. But obviously, it's never counted as much. There's one takedown attempt from Salikov out of range, wasn't able to connect through a body kick here. He's doing a nice job. Salikov's doing a nice job for scoring time to time, but it seems like he's feeling the pressure. He's feeling the pressure of Fialho's power. Seems to, nice knee tap here. Nice knee tap. Gets the fight to the ground. Now let's see. Does Fialho have any ground? Does he have any ground? Salikov is not the type of guy usually to take the fight to the ground. Now he must know something about Salikov. He must be like, hey, this guy gets all his work done standing up. Let's bring him down to the ground. Not a bad strategy. That's what I love about Sanda. Sanda fighters learn takedowns. Takedowns are so important. There's no martial art that should do without takedowns. If you're a grappling master, learn takedowns. If you're a Muay Thai fighter, learn takedowns. Every single combat athlete needs to learn takedowns. Why? You can't use your Muay Thai if you can't stay on your feet, if you don't know how to wrestle. And you can't use your Jiu-Jitsu if you can't get the fight to the ground. Wrestling is such a pivotal element to controlling a fight, taking it where you want it to go. Salikov is a fine example of that. He's been doing Sanda all his years. Today he fights a guy with maybe who has more power than him, a greater finishing rate than him. And look, he's able to take the fight to the ground. Even though Salikov is maybe not the best grappler in the game, he's good enough to hold this guy down. Nice back kick by Salikov. Let's hope now that Salikov is in prime shape for his sake. If he's in prime shape, he could repeat the process. He's already proved he's got the skill to take his opponent down. It seems like now he's a bit on wobbly legs. There's another shot attempt. Moved up to an underhook. Went off the legs. Guys, when you're in there, one thing about being in there, it's so slippery. When there's no shirt on, especially, people don't realize it's so different when you have a shirt on. The shirt absorbs the sweat. There's more friction between the two fighters. It's much more easy to slip away when you're in there. Small gloves, no shirt on, the sweat's just everywhere, and you're trying to take down a slippery fish. You know, that's why I love the double leg. The double leg is such a key element to takedowns. It looks like Salikov is doing good. He just seems to be fading a bit. It doesn't seem like he's in prime condition. You know, this is just round one. It seems like Fialho lost most of the exchanges, got taken down, but still, he's the one on the hunt right now. Salikov turns it around, turns the action up against the fence. I like that. I like that for him. If he was throwing a few knees now, I would like that even more. He's got 10 seconds here to bank in some knees. Steady likes to throw some punches. When you throw punches like that, you lose control of your opponent. See that? You just totally lost control of him. All right, guys, first round. I got to give it to Salikov. You know, I think he landed the better strikes. There's a nice back kick, deflected. He got the takedown. He did some work against the fence. He did pressure. However, I just find that Salikov connected a little bit more. For me, this is a Salikov round. Hapkido teaches takedowns. Do you feel Hapkido is good or bad? That's from Remy. Well, Remy, you know what? I've never seen a Hapkido guy really in MMA, so it's hard for me to tell. And I wonder if they were really effective Why aren't they in MMA? That would be my question. If you're effective in fighting, why didn't anybody from the Hapkido world jump in? I just don't know much about Hapkido. Coach, I'm an athlete with a health issues that doctors can't seem to pinpoint. Any advice? That's from Dad W. I would tell you, look, get a second opinion, do your own research online, find the expert. There's people out there who probably had the same issues you had. They also search far and wide to find the best doctors, best medical advice. Only take a medical advice from experts, so doctors, and always double check their advice with someone else. Always do your due diligence. Ask 2, 3, 4, 5 doctors. Do your research. Write expert letters. Find an expert in your ailment and write him a letter. And do what you can to get the best opinion you can. Salikov, overhand right into a body lock on a gut wrench on the fence. I'm loving this for him. This is great. Oh, back to single leg. I like this a lot less. Single leg, I like a lot less. Like I said, guys, things are slippery. Throws a nice combination off the single leg. He caught his opponent with a nice uppercut. Fialho ate a good uppercut there. Switch kick into a right hook. I'm liking Salikov's variety. You see, Fialho just wants to headhunt. He just wants to throw a punch. He's more punches than anything else, and he's looking for big shots. Salikov is moving around. He's got good variety. He's changing it up with the takedowns. He's got more skill. He's got a better overall skill level. Now, can he maintain it? That's the question. Because I will tell you something. Fialho is more efficient. He's spending less energy, less calories per minute. He could sustain longer from what I'm seeing so far. Ooh, another back kick. I told you, he's known for his overhand right and his back kicks. He's landed his 2 favorite shots. He landed his back kick in round 1. He landed an overhand right in round 2. And now he's landed a back kick in round 2 again. That tells me that Fialho is not really ready for the best that Salikov does. He knows, he must know what Salikov likes to do. And he's just not ready for it. Salikov now looking good with the footwork, getting the footwork moving. Fialho kind of just stalking his opponent. He's just stalking him. He's not really cutting him off. He's not cutting off Salikov. That tells me his footwork's not up. There's a nice jab from Fialho, even though it missed. That's what he needs to do. He needs to find... Oh, back fist. There's that Kung Fu variety, my friends. Nice back fist. That connected. Nice push kick to the body. That's the second push kick. Oh, spinning hook kick to the head. He loves those spinning kicks. He threw one in round 1. Missed. Got it. Round 2. Connected with the heel. Guys, that's a very, very good shot. Salikov in command here. Nice left hook that wobbles Fialho. Ivan Menjivar! What's up, Ivan? Just opened my TV. If that's my Ivan Menjivar, welcome. My boy Ivan Menjivar, one of the greatest 135ers ever, guys. There was no 135 title back in the day when Ivan was fighting. Ivan Menjivar, the pride of El Salvador. Let me tell you guys, he was the best pound-for-pound 135er in the world. The best 135er in the world, I should say. He fought his first UFC fight against Matsera at 155, 2 weight classes above. He fought at 145, 155. He fought George St. Pierre at 170. Believe me when I tell you, this man is one of the most dangerous men. Unfortunately, suffered a ACL, and PCL injury. Nice left hook by Salikov. Salikov in command still. Had a 3-year layoff, Ivan Menjivar. 3-year layoff and lots of atrophy in his leg, rebuilding his leg. And of course, time passed, 3 years. Long recovery for Ivan. Guys, an ACL plus a PCL injury is devastating for an athletic career. But if there was a time, if Ivan was fighting at the time where 135 was a thing in UFC, he would have been the UFC world champion at 135. I have no doubt about it. Here we have Salikov, another push kick to the body. Another Superman punch connects. Wobbles Fialho. Fialho swinging for the fences, losing his footing. Falls to the ground. Salikov in total control. About to finish this thing. This should be stopped probably shortly. Salikov's got 1 minute, 20 seconds to put this fight to the end. And I think he's going to do it. Coach, this is Han. Oh my goodness. Is that my boy Han? Guys, I have a Chinese student named Han who suffered a lot of abuse at my hands during the whole COVID shutdown. I oftentimes would project my anger on my Chinese student. Unfairly, of course. Of course, I love Han. Han knows I was always just joking, but I always wondered what other ailments is he bringing from his homeland? What other surprise is he bringing to the TriStar gym? What other shutdown tactics is he going to have? to shut our gym down. Han, it's great to have you on the live stream. It's been too long. Han had to go to school in another province. Fishy behavior, of course, from our foreign friend, but nonetheless, I love and miss Han. It's been a long time he hasn't been in the gym. Guys, Salikov won round one. Round two is probably a 10-8 in my book. This is a 10-8. He's wobbled his opponent. He's taken his opponent down. He's landed unanswered strike after unanswered strike. 15 seconds left. Fialho's going to survive the round. But for me, I got 2 rounds to none, and I got a 10-8 in the second round. For us, coming for Joe Rogan's commentator position. That's from Mohas. Not coming for his position, that's for sure. Nobody's ever going to replace the legend, Joe Rogan. But I would love to do some commentation in the future. That would be fun. I've done it in the past for Titan. It's always fun hanging out, watching the fights. It's always a fun time. Guys, Fialho has to rally now. He needs a finish. Excuse me. He needs a finish. He's not going to get the finish if he doesn't cut off the octagon. He needs to cut off the octagon. I wish I could turn on to hear what his coaches are saying, but unfortunately I can't play the audio. But they better be pushing him to get the finish now. This is a must. He must get this finished. If he doesn't get the finish, there's no judge in the world that's going to give him the fight. Coach, have you ever had to stop a fight because your fighter was taking too much damage or had no chance to win later on? That's from Dini Abdullah. Yes, it has happened. I've coached countless fights, guys. Countless. For all the times you guys see me in a UFC corner, I've been countless times in international fights outside UFC, national fights in Canada, abroad, the US, smaller shows. Countless. And yes, it has happened sometimes that I have to stop a fight. Guys, I have a sponsorship. Bubbly. I'm going to tell you guys this between rounds. I'm going to taste this in a little bit. I haven't had this yet. Thank you, Bubbly, for making this stream possible. I look forward to trying this flavored water. It has no calories, guys. 0 calories. Sparkling water. It is flavored with natural flavors. This is cherry. I got the cherry. I'm hoping it's as good as it looks. Salikov back on the footwork. Left hook. He threw another teep. Beautiful teep. Guys, Fialho needs a finish. I don't know why he's not moving forward. I don't know why he's not pressuring. He's only got 5 minutes to get this done. Moving back towards the fence. Back kick. There we go. The liver shot. Beautiful. He got a teep to the liver early in round 3, and now he's gotten a back kick to the liver. Fialho in a very difficult position. Now, the fact that he's not moving forward is because he's hurt. Notice the Fialho threw a fiery left hook. He's still got that power. He's still got that power, even though he's hurt, even though it's left late in the fight. Ooh, another spinning heel kick. He's not seeing these shots coming, guys. This is going to be it. This is going to be a good stoppage by the referee. Guys, this is a very good stoppage by the referee. He's hurt to the body. He's hurt to the head. Too many unanswered strikes. Congratulations to Salikov. A masterful performance against a very dangerous finisher. His footwork, his variety, his takedowns, all too much for Fialho. Fialho just didn't see those shots coming. Let's see the replay here. Spinning back kick. Guys, this is one of my favorite kicks. Right hand, answered by a left hook. Spinning heel kick. Fialho just not aware of these kind of kicks. He's not used to seeing these kind of kicks. His reactions to these kicks are not good. He's not ready. He's not seeing that in practice. Unfortunately for him, he gets kicked to the heel. With the heel to the head. Ooh, right in the jaw, actually. Right in the jaw. One of the worst places. The only other place that's worse is the back of the head. Like right behind the ear. But the jaw is the second worst. Coach, what kind of diet would you recommend for someone trying to put on muscle? That's from Dad W. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really liking carnivore. I'm doing carnivore with carbohydrates, some carbohydrates. So before you train, you carb up. I feel it's been putting a lot of muscle on me. And I think it's the best diet I ever did for muscle gain. Carnivore diet. But carnivore diet, I'm doing it with carbohydrates, some carbohydrates. So you carb up before training. It's not a strict carnivore diet, but I would do some research on strict carnivore diet if that's something that interests you. I'm just testing it out, guys. I don't know that I'm studying it and I'm testing it out. I can't say that's my favorite. I'm going to do it forever, but definitely I've seen a more muscle gain, no doubt about it. Coach, when working with an athlete like GSP, did you ever have to force him to take time off? That's from Scott. Yeah, sometimes we try to push him out of the gym. It does happen, yeah. And George is not the only one. GSP is not the only one. I've had to do that a few times, especially closer to the fight. Fighters want to stay in the gym longer. You got to push them out. I always tell them, don't leave it in the gym. You got to take it with you. Coach, who do you think has the best head movement and defense in MMA? That's from that. The best head movement ever. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I mean, Dominic Cruz is up there, that's for sure. Defensively, he was an incredible fighter. Adesanya, definitely. I mean, there's so many good. Defensively, Yoel Romero actually was very responsible defensively. George St. Pierre in his prime, he was incredibly defensively responsible. Rory McDonald in his prime, he was very defensively responsible. There's just a lot of guys. Anderson Silva in his prime was very, very defensively responsible. Just so many guys, I wouldn't put Vanderlei up there, Vanderlei Silva. No, even though he reached the highest level of fighting, I don't think he was ever really good defensively. However, there are guys who reached the highest level who were very defensive-minded, defensively responsible, as I like to put it. And there's just so many names out there that I would mention. Who else would I say? I mean, I want to go like the top of the top. It would probably have been, of all time, it would probably, I'd say, George, Cruz, Silva, Anderson Silva. Those three guys. Volk and Islam have amazing defensive maneuvers. That's from Mo. Yes. They're definitely very good defensively, but still, Makhachev's defense often stems from his wrestling ability, which might not always be the case. He might have difficulty getting the fight to the ground one day, and then we'll really see what his striking defense is like. Although so far, you're right. He has been defensively responsible. But I'm not ready to say he's one of the greats of all time yet. As for Volk gets hit. Volk he's a bit of a blood and guts fighter. Now, he's not a blood and guts fighter, but he's got a little bit of that in his game. Guys, Kevin G, my mod, says, hey, everyone, don't forget to check out Firas Zahabi's merch on Millions. If you scroll down on the watch party or click the t-shirt icon on mobile, you can see all the exclusive merch available. Guys, check it out. Make sure to check that out. Matt Whitaker, tip $10. Thank you, man. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Very, very much appreciated. Guys, such a great win by Muslim Salikov. Very, very good performance. UFC strawweight champion, female strawweight champion. Thompson versus Holland. This is a fight I'm really looking forward to. Of course, Thompson, a longtime friend, trained with him a long time, and I absolutely always pick him to win his fights. So I'm picking him. If you guys are asking, I'll be picking him to fight. The greatest kickboxer ever, and definitely the greatest karate guy ever to step into MMA at the highest level. So check him out. Make sure to check out Thompson versus Holland, December 3rd. Who knows? Maybe I do a watch party for that one. Holland's got a lot of KO power. He's got a long reach. Nothing Thompson hasn't seen before, but fights are fights, guys. You can't be sure. Just because he's put away guys with just as much reach and just as much power, it doesn't mean he's going to do it again. But I would really be confident that, he's seen guys with this much power. He's seen guys with this reach. He's seen guys with that style. But I can tell you that Holland he's never been in the octagon with a guy like Thompson. Hey, Coach, can you tell us a story about mysterious Russian nerd named Boris who ragdolled world champions grapplers in Hansel Gracie yet never competed? I wouldn't say that's ever happened, really. I know there's Russians that come in all the time. I wouldn't say there's one guy who ragdolled everybody, that's for sure. At the Hansel Gracie Academy, especially when I was there, when John Denahar was there and all that, there were so many killers on the mat. We all got our butts kicked by somebody sooner or later. There was no one guy out there dominating everybody. That's never been my experience. There are so many killers on the mat that we all end up catching each other. And that was the time when John was running the program during the day. It was no gi during the day, morning and afternoon. It was a very, very special time in grappling. In my opinion, that was the greatest grappling room ever. There was no greater grappling room ever. You had MMA guys, elite jiu-jitsu guys. You had the best instructions. You had wrestlers. You had everything, judokas. You had everybody under the sun, all crammed into one place, like legendary Abu Dhabi competitors, all like world-class wrestlers, all crammed into one basement in New York. And John Danaher, the most intellectually fanatical, like he's the most. I've never seen somebody research and study jiu-jitsu like this man. Every minutia, he's teaching 4 times a day. He's there 7 days a week, and of course, the cream of the crop. We have Renzo Gracie, the Brazilian wild man, the crazy guy who in practice is putting that energy, giving us that history. His grappling history, his brilliant, martial arts career behind us all. It was such a magical time. It was such a magical time. I'm telling you, had the best athletes there. Every walk of life from grappling. It was a very, very special time. That's why it's kind of sad that that era is over. What kind of style should I adopt in MMA if I want the least head trauma? That's from Antan Pro. Well, I would say, you got to mix your boxing with your Muay Thai, because Muay Thai is a bit more head on and it's a bit of a cultural thing. But if you put boxing footwork in there and you develop more of a K1 style, that's the style I like. And then if you throw in a little karate, then you have even more distance control. You have the spinning kicks, you have the blitzing. I like that too. So that's my ultimate recipe, boxing, Muay Thai, and karate. If you mix those 3 styles, you have a lot more defensive responsibility. Okay, guys, let's see what's up next here. What's the next fight up? Let's see here. Chase Sherman versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Interesting fight. I haven't seen these two guys. I've seen Chase Sherman in action, yes. Cortez Acosta, can't remember if I've seen him. Heavyweights, 2 heavyweights, guys. With heavyweights, you know the story with heavyweights. They get the most knockouts. Okay, the heavier the weight is, the more knockout ratio. It's the most unpredictable. Here's what's this fellow's name again? Let me tell you. Chase Sherman in action. Of course, heavyweights always scoring the big KOs. Here's Cortez. Oh, it's a low kick here. Big punchers, guys. Always with the big punching. What's great about being a heavyweight is you don't have to worry too much about cardio. The downside about being a heavyweight is you could be doing everything right, and then you eat one shot and you're down on the ground. The Vanilla Gorilla. I thought that was Brock's nickname. We always used to call Brock the Vanilla Gorilla. Coach, have you noticed any personality changes after changes among fighters after suffering big knockouts? That's from Aten Poe. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes it's more due to a broken heart than to anything else, Sometimes fighters really mature quickly after they get knocked out, because a lot of them don't think it can ever happen till it happens. And then when it happens, 1 or 2 things happens after that. Sometimes some of them start to shy away and they think twice before signing a fight. They start thinking twice before doing an exchange. They become more timid, and some of them just get wiser. They understand fighting is a risk, and they get smarter than ever, and they become better fighters than ever. Once they get burned, some of them get wiser, and unfortunately some don't. Coach, what muscle group would you say is most responsible for punching power? That's from the Mo. I would say it's your posterior chain. So stand up in front of the mirror, look in the mirror, all the muscles you don't see, all the muscles in your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves, your foot muscles, the muscles under your feet. Those are all responsible for gripping the ground, pulling on the ground. Okay, so when you throw a punch, your body has to pull on something. Remember one of the 3 laws of motions. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. If you want to put power in your fist, you first have to put power into the ground. So we know very well what propels the human body forward. Okay, that's why I always talk about don't go knees over toes. You want to squat behind your toes, knees behind the toes. Why? Studies show that when you squat knees behind your toes, or when you lunge knees behind your toes, you're torquing from the hips. Torquing, guys, not twerking. I know TikTok has polluted your minds all these years. Not twerking. Torquing. Torque. It's a mechanical term. When you torque from your hips, you're using your prime mover. When you go knees over toes, you are torquing from the knee. Coach, why would I want to torque from my knees? Not twerk, torque, torque, a mechanical term for generating power. All right, guys, we got here Sherman stepping in. Ivan Manjivar, Salsa Boy, best nickname in the world. Who's Salsa Boy? Maybe we call Ivan Manjivar Salsa Boy. No more Pride of El Salvador. We'll name him from now on Salsa Boy. Coach, how come some fighters like Glover do so good in MMA in the mid-40s? Is it his style of fighting, or are there other factors? That's from Fatty. Fatty, I would say it depends how much mileage you have on your system. You know, like some guys start young, so by the time they're 40, they're broken. Some guys take care of themselves better. Now, Glover has a lot of miles at 40, and he's still doing well. I think he's just had some epiphanies. You know, some people, when they become 40, they become wiser. If your body's still healthy at 40, you can do a lot of damage. You could be really, really good, you know. However, if you finally get wise, but your body's broken down from all the years of fighting blood and guts style, you know, if you've been a hammerhead in the octagon for a long time and then you hit 40, you got the wisdom now, but you don't have the body to use it. Okay, so the idea is to have the best mind with the best body. Marwan Ben has joined the chat. Welcome. Tips on continuing training with a bulging disc. That's from Huda. Huda, where is your bulging disc? Well, I would tell you, get strong and stable back and strong and stable neck, regardless of where your bulging disc is. And absolutely, guys, I've had a bulging disc. I've fixed my own bulging disc. Not an issue for me. I have zero pain in my back. Zero. I'm sitting down here. I just wrestled a bunch. I wrestle every single day, guys. I go live every day. I don't know many coaches that wrestle live every day. I go live every day. I'm super healthy. My spine. You know, when I had a bulging disc, I was diagnosed with a bulging disc. I went to every expert, and I was just like getting this doom and gloom. Like they're all like, "It's not easy. You know, we can try to fix it," and it's like, "We can't guarantee you'll be back." Like I researched for years. When I went to the top physiotherapists, they knew the answer. But the lower level physio guys, a lot of them gave me like, yeah, you know, your back will get better, but not so, you know. They were totally wrong. My back is better than ever, stronger than ever. And it's all about the knowledge, you know. You got to know. And it's so simple. It's so simple. In Strong and Stable Back, guys, which I think is the best video I've ever done, to be honest with you. I teach you how to decompress your spine. I fall more on the traditions of yoga, gymnastics, ballet, and of course, sports, things I learned through Sports Science Lab, working with Kelly Starrett, decompressing your spine, making your spine as long as possible. Very important. I teach the Alexander technique simply, and I teach you my version of the Alexander technique, which I call the Alexander Plus technique. You will fix a bulging disc in no time. All right, this fight is almost on its way. I can't wait till these guys get going. Coach, do you remember the original Boars? No, I don't know what Boars is. That's from Atan. You're going to have to elaborate. I have no idea what Boars is. Okay, guys, time to crack open this bubbly. It's called cherry bubbly. Guys, I'm going to take a sip. I've never had this before. I'm going to give you my honest opinion right before this fight starts. Let's have some bubbly. Cheers, my friends. Oh, man, this is good. Guys, 0-calorie drink, naturally flavored, I believe. Carbonated water, natural flavor. Oh, I love this. Guys, this is my new favorite drink. 0 calories and natural. Love it. Guys, thank you, Hubbly Bubbly. I'm going to call it Hubbly Bubbly. Bubbly, guys. Check it out. Cherry. Beautiful. Amazing drink. Okay, guys, this fight is started. Low kick by Sherman. Man, this is good. Low kick by Sherman. Nice job here, Cortez Acosta. Another low kick. I love those low kick, guys. If you know me, I love the low kick. But heavyweight low kicks are a bit risky because you can get caught with a punch. You know, he better. Ooh, there it is. He's chopping down that tree. That's a nice cut kick. You saw when he threw it, Cortez was backing up. Cortez Acosta was backing up. That's a perfect time to throw a low kick. I gotta say, guys, I really like Sherman here. He looks good. I really like his style. I like his position. I like his head movement. I like the fact that he finishes with a low kick. I like the fact that he just faked a low kick. He went inside, so he kicked with the other leg, body kick. This kid's got moves, man. This kid's got understanding. Oh. Adam Amagov, the Chechen fighter nicknamed Boris. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. And Kamzat's also nicknamed Boris. Really, I didn't know that. Sherman with a good push kick to the body. Ooh, nice right hand. He's also landed that beautiful low kick 3 times. Very good 2.5 minutes for Sherman. Ooh, nice jab. Right hand into a jab. That's good. That's a 2-1, not a 1-2. Everybody throws a 1-2. Sherman throwing a 2-1. Machida used to throw the 2-1 quite a bit, actually. Here's Cortez Acosta running forward with 4 punches straight. That's a very dangerous thing to do in a fight. Running forward here, stepping right, left, kind of like running forward into a blitz. That can lead to a lot of problems. You know, you can walk into a big shot. You can get taken down. Cortez not really finding his target. Backing up against the fence. Excuse me, guys. The bubbly's coming back up. You know, Cortez Acosta is just missing over and over again. He hasn't really connected yet. And we're 3 minutes into the fight. Sherman doing a great job with the head movement. He's just seeing all of Cortez Acosta's moves. Everything that Acosta is doing. There's a nice jab that got through for Acosta. He caught one of those kicks. Let's see if he can counter him. If he doesn't count, oh, nice uppercut by Acosta. Cortez Acosta lands a good uppercut. That was a solid uppercut. You could see the right eye of Sherman. Sherman with a beautiful 1-2. Sherman eats another right. Cortez Acosta's got that power. Low kick, but this time a little bit more sloppy. Here's Sherman with some wrestling. Let's see what he could do with the gut wrench. Can he get this fight to the ground? Got a nice gut wrench. I still got Sherman up for this round. Especially after that one low kick that he threw. That really chopped up Cortez Acosta's leg. But still, Cortez Acosta really narrowed the margin in the last minute. But now he's in a gut wrench. So I got to give it a little bit to Sherman here. Sherman's winning this round so far. Still a whole minute, almost a whole minute left in the fight. Let's see here. If Sherman can stick this takedown, nice knee, he would definitely bank in the round. He still got the round in my eyes. In my eyes, Sherman's winning this round. However, you know, never know with these judges. You know, it can be a scary thing sometimes when a round is a bit tight. Body lock. This should be a takedown. There it is. Sherman scores the takedown. He's got 10 seconds here. He's going to seal the deal with that takedown. I'm pretty sure he's going to land a little bit of ground and pound here. No, he didn't have the time. Good round by Sherman, but he did, for 1 minute in that fight, seem to get caught back and forth here and there. But other than that, he controlled the entire round. For us, if Izzy and Pereira do it again, that's from Scott Whitaker. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. You know, I know Izzy's like hell-bent on getting that fight back. And he was winning, guys. He was winning the fight. Not only he was winning the fight, he was 3-1 round. He was winning 3 out of the 4 rounds. That low kick that he threw, think about it. He threw a low kick. It numbed his leg, kind of. He fell down in like a backward somersault, found himself up against the fence, and got knocked out. Got TKO'd. But if it wasn't for that kick, he probably would have done some lateral movement the entire round and won. That's the crazy thing. He probably would have won. He probably would have cruised to a victory. But unfortunately, for him, His leg got checked. You know, the simplest thing. Alex Pereira just checked the kick. It stumbled Adesanya. Adesanya found himself up against the fence. Guys, when you're up against the fence, that's when a knockout puncher could put you to sleep. And that was just like a perfect storm for Pereira. Now, I don't want to say it was lucky. Not at all. He's not getting lucky, guys. He's knocked out Adesanya in the past, and he could do it again in the future. I'm just saying, like, it's hard to pick Pereira, and I probably would pick Pereira. I have to think about it. But there is a good argument to be made for Izzy. I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, coach, you lost 3 times. Guys, watch those fights. The first fight, I thought Adesanya won. The second fight, he was winning, gets knocked out. The third fight, he was winning, gets knocked out. You know, eventually he's going to be winning and just end up making it all the way to the bell. Good flurry by Cortez Acosta. Way ahead in the lead in this round. Sherman gets a lock. Let's see if Sherman can bring this fight to the ground. It would be great to see a little grappling from these guys. So far, the fight's been mostly striking. All right, Cortez Acosta starting to find the target here. Closing the distance on Sherman. Nice right hand by Acosta. Sherman needs to regroup here. He seems like he's slowing down a little bit. Guys, I know you're looking at Sherman's face. It's a bit red. It's because he's fair-skinned. You can't go by marks on the face. You got to go by how much did the shot connect? Now, the shots are connecting. I don't want to say they're not. And Cortez is doing a great job now finding his target. But I know a lot of people might be like thinking, oh, he's winning by a landslide. No, he's not. It's still a close fight. Round 2, he's winning, definitely. I gave Sherman round 1. Cortez Acosta so far, he's definitely winning round 2. He's finding the target. Oh, beautiful overhand right. Sherman needs to regroup. Now, Sherman needs to make an adjustment here. If he doesn't adjust what he's doing, he's going to lose this fight. There's another right hand. He's still not adjusting. He needs to change his defensive maneuvers. He needs to... Nice teep to the body. Cortez is now finding his target over and over again. Sherman needs to make some adjustments here. Sherman... Oh, eats a left hook. Sherman now, right now, is losing his focus. Nice locus, but telegraphed. Sherman right now has to go back to reading Cortez Acosta's telegraphs. He's getting hit with overhand rights over and over again. He's not reading those overhand rights. They're coming from a mile away. He should definitely be able to shield and block and counter. What's a proper counter to an overhand right? Shooting from far away. Now, in my opinion, Sherman is just fighting hard. He's not thinking out there anymore. What's the proper counter against overhand right? He should shield it, step in, and throw his own right hand straight down the middle. He could do a variety of counters, but he has to defend against that overhand right. That overhand right is coming again. There's a jab. Sooner or later, that overhand right is going to be coming again. Cortez is going to be setting it up, and Sherman has to deal with it. There's another low kick. Kind of a weird switch stance slapping hook. Cortez having fun in there. I think he's starting to gain in confidence here. He's like, hey, I can see every one of your shots, and you can't see any of mine. Oh, back fist, like a backhanded punch from Cortez. It just seems like Sherman's fitness level is kind of like dipped a little bit. So he's not able to maintain the success he had. Oh, he just got kicked in the groin. The success he had in round 1. Kick to the groin. Referee says fight on, even though it was kick to the groin in plain sight. Okay, these two guys are sitting in the middle of the octagon, exchanging. Another right hand. There's that other right hand. Another right hand from Cortez. Cortez changing stance now, throwing hooks. He wants to connect that right hook, either from an orthodox stance or a southpaw stance. He wants to connect that right hand. There seems to be a hole in Sherman's defense. There's another right hand, guys. How many more of these can he take? How many more right hands can he take? He had such a great first round. He's falling. There's another right hand. Guys, that right hand is gone undefended the entire fight. Guys, he's just eaten 2 more. And a back fist, a weird type of back fist punch. Sherman not able to generate any power in round 2. Sherman unable to generate any power. That tells me that his fitness level is not up to par. Round 1, he was excellent. Round 2, from the first minute, he hasn't been able to generate much power. in his movements, either defensively or offensively. Here were the last 10 seconds. It's a very strange thing, you know. Maybe he had a, I don't know, maybe he had a, he overtrained, or maybe he didn't do enough fitness in his training camp, but definitely fitness is an issue. Definitely. No doubt about it. Coach, can GSP make a comeback fight and fight Alex Pereira like he did against Bisping? That's from Aten. Aten, I don't think so. You know, if he came up to me with that fight, I would tell him, look, he definitely could win it because he's so much better of a wrestler, but why take the risk? I mean, George has done it all in the sport, you know. I think there's a time where you got to hang it up and just, you know, just be happy, be a family man. Just like, you know, turn the page. You know, he could look. George is a nightmare for Pereira. Nightmare. Because I guarantee you, George gets that fight to the ground, guys. George is a nightmare. And if he gets on top of you, you're not getting back up. Like, you're not getting back up. Like, if you get back up, you're just going right back down to the mat. And his ground game is so strong. His cardio, his distance control. He's so smart. Like, he's a brilliant guy. But how many times does he have to go in back and prove that he's the best? Like, there's a time and place where there's more to life than fighting, and you got to turn the page. You know, you just got to turn the page. Yes, he can go and beat that guy. Yes. And if he wanted to do it, man, I would back him up for sure. But it's just, there's a time and place. You know, we got to turn the page sometimes, and just, I'm not saying it can never happen, guys. I know George tomorrow, he's a crazy guy. He might call me tomorrow and say, hey, we're doing another fight. But I really want to see him kind of right off into the sunset. Nice low kick by Sherman. Sherman's got to turn things around here. Sherman now has to get serious. He let round 2 slide against a guy he dominated in round 1. Why is that? Well, maybe he gets his second win now. There's some sharp power there. That's what I want to see. I haven't seen any powerful movements at all from Sherman in round 2. Now we're seeing some nice, crisp work. Round 2 was completely sloppy. I'm sure if he watches that fight, he'll be angry with himself. I'm sure he'll be like, I could do way better than this. Right now, he's generating power. He knows this fight is in jeopardy. It's 1 round apiece. Sherman needs to adjust and make sure he doesn't get hit with a right hand. Guys, when somebody throws a right hand at you, you better know at least 3 different counters. Why is he not employing them? What is it? I think it's mental. I think he needs to refocus, stop thinking about the result of the fight, and counter that right hand. There's another right hand. Again, a little bit sloppy here by Sherman. Sherman's not being crisp. Cortez also slightly slowing down here, but he might just be, you know, getting ready for a powerful rally in the halfway mark. Nice left hook, sharp right hand. There's the overhand right again, going unanswered. There's finally, he blocked one of them. Finally, he blocked one overhand right. Just shielded. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Sherman can do it. He's a smart guy. He's a talented fighter. He's fighting the top organization in the world. There's no reason for him to get hit with that many right hands. He's a very good Muay Thai fighter. You can tell he's super well trained. 102 strikes, head strikes to 20, to Sherman's 20. 102. How is that possible? How is that possible after he had such a brilliant round 1? I think it's purely emotional. Sherman's getting emotional in there. He's getting emotional. He gets hit, and it puts him into a tailspin. It puts him to a mental tailspin. He's got to stay focused. Getting hit is part of the game. My trainer used to tell me all the time before he passed. He's like, when I fight, I'm amateur, and all the fighters used to tell us, when you get hit, smile. It's part of the game. Don't take it personal. Just keep fighting. Focus. Don't lose your focus. What do you have to do when he kicks and he punches? Don't get angry. Emotions kill your skill level. Sherman eats a good left hook, staying strong, getting in there, still in this fight, but falling behind on my card. Cortez Acosta in round 3 has landed the better shots. Now we got about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If Sherman is going to pull this out of the fire. Ooh, another right hand. Another right hand by Cortez. Guys, what is it about that right hand he's not seeing? Another grazing right. Cortez turning southpaw now. Using the right hand as a lead. Now switching back to righty. Back to orthodox. Another low kick. Partially blocked. Guys, the bubbly, man. This is my new favorite drink. It's my new favorite drink. I love it. Guys, I love this thing. Guys, thank you, bubbly, for making this stream possible. Cortez with the switching footwork. Cortez now can see all of Sherman's shots. Everything Sherman is throwing, Cortez is seeing. He feels really relaxed in there, it seems. Sherman's got to do something new. Sherman's doing the same combos over and over again. They're getting predictable. Cortez Acosta seeing them a mile away. Cortez he's been throwing more variety than Sherman. Sherman needs to change things up now. He had a good switch kick earlier on. Maybe he switches stance, throws a nice right hook into a switch kick, something different. He needs to go for the kill now. There's 1 minute left. He needs to step in, move his head in, throw some combinations, and finish with a head kick, something. He needs to make it happen now. Be in a high sport level is hard to the body and mind. That's true. That's from Ivan Manjivar, guys. Ivan saying, yeah, it's hard on the body and the mind. Very stressful thing. You train for so many years, so many months, and it all comes down to 15 minutes. Look at this, 15 minutes. Your whole career on the line in 15 minutes. Sherman working hard, but not finding his target. Cortez just slipping, ripping, slipping, and ripping. Ripping shots over and over again. Guys, on my scorecard, I got Cortez Acosta winning 2-1. Just landing the better shots over and over again. The metrics were over 100 strikes landed by Cortez to Sherman's then 20. Sherman might be at 40 now, but really fell behind on the count. And the bigger shots were also landed by Cortez. So on my card, guys, I got Cortez winning unanimous decision. Dini Abdullah says, Coach, how would GSP fight Leon Edwards? Well, you know, Leon's a very tricky southpaw. George loves a single leg to double leg on a southpaw, single to double. I think he would take the fight to the ground, then take it back standing in round 2 or 3. But he'd probably soften him up a lot on the ground. George's takedowns are just they're too powerful, man. Honestly, he's probably the greatest takedown artist ever in history of MMA. Like, if I had to trust a guy to get a fight to the ground, it would be GSP. Tomas says, thank you for clarifying, Coach. I was going to start twerking from my knees. Yes, earlier on, I was talking about torquing from the knees. But you kids with your TikTok, it's made you insane. It's made you guys a little crazy. Excuse me, guys. I'm burping up bubbly here. Bubbly, guys. My new favorite drink. And also, bubbly is making this sponsorship today, this stream possible. Thank you so much. I love a 0-calorie drink, naturally flavored. Guys, I'll tell you something. I like to drink Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero. When I have a sweet tooth, I want to quench it. But Pepsi Zero is not good for you. This is healthy for you. So this is my new thing. I'm going to keep this in the fridge. And when I have a thirst for something sweet and tasty, I'm going to pop one of these bubblies. It's first time trying that, guys. First time trying this drink. My first time having bubbly. I got to say, I love it. All right, guys. Cortez, no surprise. Waldo Cortez Acosta wins the fight. No doubt. He dominated the last 2 rounds. Nobody can argue. Nobody could see it any other way. Former LFA heavyweight champion. 9-0. Excellent. Look, he had a slow start. He's a slow starter. It seems like he's a slow starter. Hey, everyone. If you're enjoying this free experience, show Firas Zahabi some love with tipping option. You can use the tip function and Firas Zahabi will receive 100% of the funds. That's from Kevin G, the moderator. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for mentioning that. I had no idea that was the case, but thank you. Pablo Perez, we will see you again doing this type of streaming. That's from Pablo Perez. That's a very big possibility. Hopefully, let's see how this stream goes. I like doing this. Personally, I like watching the fights and commentating on them. And hopefully everybody else does also. If that's the case, I'm sure we'll be doing more of these in the future. How did GSP develop his takedown game? That's from Fadi. Fadi, I'll tell you, it has a lot to do with his karate, the footwork he uses. Because the thing is, here's the thing. Double legs are not that complicated. Okay, now there's a lot to know about double legs. Don't get me wrong. But if you train double legs for 2 years, I mean, you'll know the techniques down. Okay, and there's a lot of variations, but it's not that complicated. Excuse me, guys, the bubbly's giving me the burps. The hard part is the timing, the setup. That's the hard part. The hard part is the setup. Because the thing is, once you get in position in a double leg, you have so much leverage to finish that it's getting there. That's the hard part, because everybody does everything they can to stop you from getting there, obviously, because nobody wants to give up that much leverage. Okay, so I'll tell you that the hard part is the setup. Now, George had a great setup. He had a better setup than everybody else. And that came from his MMA setup. Now, I'm talking about his wrestling freestyle Olympic rules, because obviously if he wrestled in the Olympic rules set, he would lose. Guys, there's guys who just have way better setups than him. They've been doing that night and day for, since they can walk. I'm talking about MMA takedowns. George's setups, he would use karate footwork. With the karate footwork, he's able to time those doubles. He's able to get deep enough on a double that it doesn't matter if you're wrestling longer than him. That's the thing. That's the beauty of the double leg. It's a highest point of leverage with simplicity. It's super high leverage and it's super simple. The hard part, the downside, is getting that deep on a double. So George was the master of getting deep on a double. How did he do it? Karate footwork. Coach, are you coming to Europe anytime soon? That's from Hisham Al Omri. Not scheduled for Europe yet, but in the new year, I'm going to get, I'm sure, 1 or 2 trips to Europe. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Is it true that GSP didn't wrestle at all until he did karate? If so, makes his accomplishment even more amazing. That's from Dinny. Yeah, it's true. He didn't wrestle after he got his karate black belt. Okay, I didn't wrestle till, look, I started wrestling when I started doing jiu-jitsu at the age of around 20 years old. Okay, I was 20 years old. Guys, Kennedy's up next. I'm not going to try even attempt to say his last name because I don't want to butcher it, but Kennedy's up next. I've seen this man fight before. He's very tall. I've seen him in person, actually. He's quite a specimen, quite an athletic specimen. He's taken on Mr. Kutaleba. Guys, forgive me again for saying his name incorrectly. Let me put on let's see here. It's the main event, guys. Yes, it is the main event. This is the last fight. The Lewis fight, for those of you who are tuning in late, unfortunately was canceled. Lewis is sick. Guys, there has been the flu going around. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly what Lewis has, but it wouldn't surprise me if he got the flu. A lot of people getting the flu. It's the time of year. And unfortunately, the main event is canceled. But we are getting this great fight. And I'm looking forward to it. Coach, I injured my elbows last year by rolling too hard, tapping very late, Kimura's arm bars, I didn't really know, and I couldn't roll anymore, so I kept taking 2-month breaks. Time I go back to rolling, I only take me a week of training to have the brutal pain in my elbows again. I went to 2 orthos, gave me anti-inflammatory, same thing. I desperately want to train again, and I want to ask you if you have any ideas on how I could do BJJ. Guys, I never take anti-inflammatories. I try to avoid them like the plague. I'm not saying they're bad or wrong. I just ruined my stomach years ago. I was prepping for a boxing fight and I had sprained my neck before the boxing fight. So I was like taking all these anti-inflammatories. I burned a hole in my stomach. So I avoid anti-inflammatories. Me personally, I will try to avoid them at all costs. Anytime I ever take anti-inflammatories, after I overdosed on them when I was a young kid, just being dumb and taking too many Advils, taking too many anti-inflammatories, hoping to make the pain in my neck go away so I can do my boxing fight. I didn't know that anti-inflammatories can burn your stomach. Young and dumb, guys. What can I say? So I avoid them. I never use that. All I use is self-administered physiotherapy. Now, if you, like, I'll be honest with you. Elbow pain, tennis elbow or tendonitis in the elbow is very painful. It's very painful. It seems like it's nothing until you have it. When you have it, guys, elbow pain could be excruciatingly painful. What I would tell you is massage the forearm, massage the bicep, massage the tricep. I like to use high-powered massagers. I think they're the best. Do that regularly. Wear an elbow pad when you wrestle, okay? Because when you put your elbow on the mat, you irritate your elbow more and more. Eventually, you won't need the elbow pad. Okay, so what I would do is I would massage the forearm thoroughly. I'd massage the bicep. Believe me, it's tight muscles. Tight muscles will pull on your elbow. It'll irritate your elbow. Every time you move your elbow, that tight muscle is straining against your elbow. That's really what it is. And then after that, you have to strengthen it. The best way to strengthen your elbow, in my opinion, Turkish get up. Turkish get up. I teach it in strong and stable shoulders, guys. Master the Turkish get up. It'll keep your shoulders and elbow and wrist extremely healthy. So get on that. Get a good elbow pad. Get a neoprene one. It'll warm up your elbow. Just by putting it on, it starts to warm up your elbow. Just by containing the heat. What a head kick here. Kennedy with a beautiful head kick. This guy's a finisher. Guys, I've seen this guy in person. He's an incredible specimen. He's an incredible specimen. This guy could be in the NBA. I'm telling you, he's tall. I can't wait to see how tall he is. But he's tall. He's muscular. He's explosive. He's a monster. Coach, any tips on how to achieve longevity on BJJ martial arts training in general? That's from Hisham. Eat well, exercise correctly, and train smart. Don't go like every day. Don't wrestle every day like it's the Olympics. Like you're going for the gold. Be sensible in your training. If you're sensible in your training, you warm up well. You shouldn't get hurt, guys. I wrestle every day. I'm 42. I'm turning 43. I rarely ever get hurt. Rarely. Of course, strong and stable program. You take care of your abs. I have one instructor, he got a hernia. I was so upset with him. I told him because you don't do your abs. He overeats. He doesn't take care of his diet. He trains with all these young kids, elite killers. Like these kids are prepping for competition. He rolls with them. He's an instructor. He's older. He's up there. Then he gets a hernia. I was like, yeah, well, you don't take care of your body. He doesn't eat well. He doesn't do his conditioning. He comes in, fights, wrestles, does a little bit of conditioning every so often. No. Your body has to be in pristine shape. You must have strong abs, strong back, strong legs, strong neck, strong shoulders. It's so important. And I find BJJ practitioners are the only combat sport that don't do conditioning. If you go to a boxing gym, they all do conditioning. You go to a Muay Thai gym, they do their Muay Thai, then they do conditioning. It's just such a waste that MMA, jiu-jitsu practitioners avoid conditioning. I would say that especially like a hernia, like if you're getting a hernia on the mat, you're not in shape. You're not in shape and you're training too hard. Like you're pushing your body beyond its limits. I always tell people, you got to work within a margin of safety. The fitter you are, the more intense you can train. Guys, before I forget, this show is also sponsored by Powerade. Guys, it's also a great sports drink. Before practice, I like to take these once in a while. Powerade, everybody knows it out there. Guys, I want to thank Powerade for helping make this stream possible. Everybody loves this drink. We've all reached for one. Guys, if it's a hot day and you're training, you're dehydrated. Best way to rehydrate yourself is with one of these sports drinks and Powerade. Amazing flavors. Okay, give it a try. All right, this fight is on its way. Kennedy is a very tall order for anybody. Okay, now I haven't seen Kutaleba fight before, so I'm interested to see what he brings to the table. Second highest takedown accuracy in UFC lightweight history. 13 first round finishes. 8th fastest finish in UFC lightweight history. Okay, guys, so he's got really, really good takedowns. He's going to need him because Kennedy is explosive, got a long reach, super tall. I've seen his highlights, and I've seen him in action. The guy's a killer. 13-3. So let's see how this fight breaks down. The main event. I'm going to put it on the commentary. Kutalaba. I want to make sure I pronounce his name right. I heard them say Kutalaba. All right, guys, we got a light heavyweight fight for the main event. I wonder if they scheduled them for 5 rounds. I doubt it. Usually the main event's supposed to be 5 rounds. Now that this is the main event, are they putting it for 5? I highly doubt it. It's in their contract that they're fighting for 3. But it wouldn't surprise me if they told them, hey, guys, you want to resign for 5? Probably throw them a little extra cheddar because it is a main event. You want to entertain the crowd. As a fighter, I think most fighters, as a coach, I should say, I would tell most of my fighters do it. It's a main event. It's good experience. One of 5 active Nigerian fighters. He's from Nigeria. How tall is this man? Saeed. All the athletic tools you would want. No kidding. I can't wait to see what his height is. Guys, this guy's an incredible athlete. I've seen him in the practice room. He's a beast, this guy. Kennedy also cares for his sick mother who has ALS. I believe very heartwarming. That's from Toma. Really, that's really sweet of him. I hope he does. You know, you boys should take care of your mothers. That's really important. What time is it? It's only 6 p.m. and we're already at the main event. How's that possible? How is that possible? Eighth highest takedown defense in UFC lightweight history. Finished 7 out of 10 wins. Awarded UFC contract on Dana White's challenge thing. He is a giant, guys. I'm telling you, at 205, he's a giant. To win by KO, plus 120. That's really low. Really, really low. To win by submission, plus 1,000. So people don't think he can sub anybody. To win by decision, plus 380. Wait, is he an underdog? Wow. Is it possible he's an underdog? Kutaleba. I haven't seen Kutaleba in action. However, I have seen Kennedy in the practice room, and I can tell you he's impressive. Coach, what's the most nervous you've ever been in your life? That's from Atan Po. Guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have major, major, major fear of flying. Major. And I fly all the time. So that was a really tough challenge in my life. 6'5", guys. This man should be in the NBA. 6'5", 83-inch reach. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Versus Kutaleba, 75-inch reach. Think about that. Think about that. That's an incredible amount of advantage. He's got 8 inches on him. 8-inch reach advantage. That's insane. Hopefully, he's fighting in a way that reflects that. But yeah, I'm sure you mean like in a fight, you know? Oh, it's tough, man. There's so many fights, even little fights, even smaller fights, undercard fights. I've been nervous sometimes. It just depends on the situation we're in. I've been nervous, I've been too nervous too long for too many years because fights get me nervous. Even when I was fighting as an amateur, for me, it was so nerve-wracking. Why? Because, it wasn't the fear of the fight. It was like, it goes on your record. It's just your reputation. It was just fighting is so nerve-wracking. It's just so nerve-wracking. And we fight in the gym all the time. So it's not the fighting. It's not the actual fighting. It's all the camera, the talking, the record. It goes on your record, the people watching. What if I have a bad day? What if all the skills I have don't show? Then you're going to have to deal with all these knuckleheads on the internet talking bad about you. And it's just, that's really things over the years you learn to tune out and you don't care about so much. And you kind of like ignore, but you're still nervous. Why? Because you want that outcome. These guys, if they win, they get double their money. Most of these guys, if they lose, they go home with half their purse. They put so much time and energy into this. They put so much. So then it becomes nervous about, because when you're younger, you really care about what everybody thinks about you. You want to prove your name. After a while, it becomes about earning your living, building your career. You don't want to, have a lot of these guys don't have a plan B. So you start getting nervous over this, Before you were living in mom's basement doing MMA because you love it. Now you're paying your bills with MMA. So it's like, hey, I got to get paid. So there's lots to be nervous about all the time. And if it's my student, I want him to get paid. I want him to make money. I want his life to be good, All right, guys, we're about to square off. These men are getting the final instructions. They're touching gloves. Coach, how to become more proficient in what John Danaher calls clinch boxing, mixed clinch striking and takedowns. That's from Muhammad Rahman. There's so much to know. It's just a sport in itself. There's so many details, hard to say verbally, but we've developed that over the years of trial and error in the gym. All right, we got Kennedy, southpaw, throwing some long shots, staying true to his 8-inch reach. I believe it's an 8-inch reach advantage. Oh, gets caught with the right hand. Oh, Kutaleba with some power in those hands, maybe. Oh, yes. Overhand right. Single leg attempt. Guys, again, like I've said before, I haven't seen Kutaleba in action, but so far I'm very impressed. Kennedy is a phenomenal athlete. He won Dana White's challenge show, so he's in the UFC, but as an athlete, you could see he has so much potential. Kutaleba so far is showing he's more skilled, he's more seasoned. He's got the gut wrench going. He put a partial hook in. He's got a tight waist here. back to gut wrench. He's landing some nice strikes. Here's Kennedy fighting the hands. You know, Kennedy's got so much potential, but he has developed this Kutaleba? That's the question. Still too early in the fight to say. However, I can tell you that so far, Kutaleba's in control. He landed some nice strikes, got Kennedy up against the fence, and now he just seems to be dictating the clinch here. Kennedy with his underhook now. Let's see if he can get off the fence. Body lock by Kutaleba. Beautiful takedown into mount. Man, this is a tough position for Kennedy. This is a very, very tough position. He's flattened in mount. He landed on two hips. He didn't land on his side. So now he's going to be fighting hard now to just create some space here, try to escape. It's going to cost some energy. Whether he gets out or not, it's going to cost a lot of energy here. Here, Kutaleba is showing a nice triangle mount. This is a beautiful Senkaku control. We call this a triangle mount. Khabib made this famous. Aoki made this famous as well. He used to use this quite often. You kind of got mount, but a triangle also on your opponent's legs. This is a very good position. Absolutely love it. Now, Kennedy able to get to half guard with one butterfly hook. I think he still has the butterfly hook. That's an improvement in position, but still a very tough place to be. What I would love to see Kennedy do right now is put his feet up against the fence, climb up on the fence with his feet, and reverse the situation. He's got those long legs here. If he climbs up against the fence, it's going to be very difficult to do now because Kutaleba went back into the guard here. Kennedy establishing full guard. Now has his head pressed up against the fence. That could be very problematic. That's a very troublesome position to be in. Kutaleba still in command, but Kennedy improving his position, dropping back down to the waist. This is very tiring for Kennedy. You know, Kennedy needs to get back to using his reach. He needs to find a way to pummel free here, get his underhook. There it is. There's that underhook. Use his hips to get off the fence here. Push off the fence with your hips. Kutaleba still in control. However, there's still 2 other rounds to go. So this is a three fight main event. Nice throw, headlock throw. Not something you see very often. Headlock throw. You have a finish from here, guys. You have a choke from here. Kutaleba elects to let go here. He's gonna if he traps the arm between his legs, the fight will be over. Okay, if Kutaleba now can trap that right hand between his legs, he has 2 very powerful locks. Now Kennedy needs to get that right elbow to the mat. He absolutely needs to get a right elbow to the mat. If he doesn't, Kutaleba is going to drive it between his legs, and we're going to see a submission here. This is a very, very bad position here for Kennedy. Oh, he's got his right elbow to the mat, and he's out. Beautiful escape by Kennedy, and now he has the gut wrench. Fantastic, guys. Why don't we see that kind of move often in MMA? Because of this, you risk giving up your back. Nice Kosotogaki attempt. Trip attempt by Kennedy. Kosotogaki trip. Kennedy does a back escape. He escaped to the back, taking Kutaleba's back. Kutaleba reacts, and Kennedy ends up with a gut wrench. Kutaleba now in a Kimura hold. Guys, this is also a very good hold for Kutaleba. Let's see if he can get this. 30 seconds here. Still plenty of time for someone to score something here. Kutaleba still in the lead, in my opinion. You know, he's got the better position, landed the better strikes, had the majority of the control. Kennedy now showing some life here, escaping to the back, protecting against the Kimura. You could see Kennedy's left hand is reaching for the wrist, the far wrist. He looks very safe from the Kimura. Ivan Manjavor says, Firas, my wife is mad. I'm looking at the TV and the cell phone at the same time. Ivan, stay with me, man. Tell your wife the fight's almost over. This is round two coming up of 3. Then after that, your wife gets all of Saturday night with Ivan Manjavar, the pride of El Salvador. Lucky lady. All right, guys, here we are. My wife giving me a dirty look. Babe, this is the main event, so we're done in like 10 minutes max. Yeah, so you didn't leave yet, huh? What are you going to do? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to stay with Ayman. Dean. All right, guys. Sorry, wifey interrupting as usual. Interrupting my man time with you guys. I love that Kimura hold. That's from Remy. Yeah, it's a fantastic hold, especially in MMA. You know, it works so well in MMA. I've got Kennedy, but Ion might be motivated by the main event slot to win. But logically, unless Ion has a significant grappling advantage, I've got Kennedy. Well, so far in round one, it seems like Cutabella is doing really well. So you might want to rethink that a little bit. Okay, let's see if Kennedy can use that reach in his athleticism here. Nice 1-2 attempt, deflected by Cutabella. Cutabella throws a haymaker. Kennedy not there, gets out of the way. Eats a small leg kick here. Good choppy left kick. Throws a left hand down the middle. Nice, connects. Kennedy connects with a left hand. Another left hand for Kennedy. Cutabella throwing some powerful strikes, but missing. Eats a right hook. Back fist, misses. Kennedy. Ooh, big knee by Kennedy. Big knee. Cutabella shoots into a knee. Kennedy looking good. Ooh, gets hit in the groin. Ouch. Kennedy wants to go. Kennedy's like, let's go. I had a rhythm going. Kennedy throwing, missing. These two men are throwing now, toe-to-toe. We've got toe-to-toe action here. Flying, a jumping knee. Cutabella shoots, gets caught with an underhook. Caught with another knee. Cutabella on wobbly legs. It's over. It's over. Uppercut. Kennedy is putting the hurt on Cutabella. This should be over soon. Ooh, Cutabella goes down. It's over. My man, you are right. Who is that up there who said it? Kennedy wins. Remy Muskowitz. I've got Kennedy. You're right, Remy. You are right. Kennedy wins. What a comeback. You know, first round was tough, but I'm telling you, this kid's got so much potential, so much talent. I love this kid. He's a great athlete. Came back, made adjustments. That's what it's all about, making adjustments. Cutabella had a great first round. He looked really, really good. However, when it came to the striking in round two and the flying knee, the jumping knee, here it is. Here's the jumping knee. Boom, catches him. It wasn't really, he was kind of jumping into it. Catches him on the way. And guys, that's not easy to do. It's not an easy thing to time. Passes the head to the inside. Kennedy looking really good. Here's that jumping knee again. Yeah, it was a jumping knee. Right on the chin. Man, it takes a lot of chin to take a shot like that from a tall guy. Cutabella, man, lots of heart, good beard, but unfortunately for him, not able to stay on his feet. Kennedy rallied in round two, came back in a brilliant way to win big. Great win by Kennedy. Very impressed by this young man. Hey, coach, how would jiu-jitsu specialists like Gordon Ryan do in the transition to MMA? That's from Vijahit. That's a tough one. You know, it's really, really tough. It's all like, he's a brilliant guy. He's a very smart guy. So he would really commit himself to the striking because, of course, wrestling and grappling, like, he's there, you know. But the thing is, it's not just know-how. It's also, you have to be tough. It's a different type of toughness striking, you know. So I've seen guys transition that didn't have that mental toughness, and some that did. Those that did, they can make it. Does he have that mental toughness? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. You got to go in there and try it first. So it's really, really tough. There are other elements that they're just kind of God-given to a certain extent, you know. So they're hard to breed. Could it be possible? Absolutely, it's possible. So we have to wait and see. It's not just because you're the best grappler, best wrestler, that you can perhaps make it in MMA. Not always. Sometimes, you know, the guy who's ranked 10th in wrestling is the better MMA fighter than the guy who's ranked 2 or 3. Well, yeah, because wrestling only matters to a certain extent. After that, there are other elements that matter as well. Okay, guys, let me see here. Great work today. Okay, guys, I hope you had as much fun as me. The fights are over. I hope you guys enjoy. Please like, share, comment, do all that good stuff. Let millions.co know if you guys want me to do this again. I'm happy to do it in the future. Guys, it was a blast. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.